Hey, what up? It's one of the Adrians from Rabona TV. And we're talking transfers on a Friday as per usual. That's all that needs to be said there, so let's get rolling. A lot's happened since the last video. Lyon's Tolisso signed for Bayern Munich for 35 million euros plus add-ons, and Serge Gnabry signed on with Bayern Munich as well, although it's been rumored that he's going to be loaned out to Hoffenheim straight away. Which is a win-win-win, really. Everybody wins. Gnabry, Bayern, and Hoffenheim. Hoffenheim get a quality player, Gnabry gets minutes, and Bayern Munich get one of their future stars, possibly, getting some Champions League playing time. So like I said, everybody wins. What a wonderful world we live in. Andre Silva signed with AC Milan for 38 million euros, and now that he's not an FC Porto player anymore, I can say, damn, this kid is going to be special. If his performances for not only Porto but for Portugal as well are anything to go by, then 38 million for this kid is a bit of a steal, as he could turn into a player that is worth way more than that. Speaking of Milan, big news regarding the goalkeeper that some people say looks a little bit like me. I don't really see it. It's probably just the nose. AC Milan confirmed that Gigi Donnarumma will not be renewing his contract, which is up at the end of June 2018. So here we go. It's Adrian theory time. Now, earlier this week, Gigi Buffon said that he would be retiring at the end of next year, unless something incredible happens, whatever that may be. Now, given that Gigi Donnarumma's contract ends at the end of next season, something tells me that Buffon has been in Donnarumma's ear and has said that he should be his successor at Juventus. Because let's be honest, yes, Juventus signed Szczesny, but do we really think that he's going to be the successor to Gigi Buffon? No, he's just a meantime backup guy. RB Leipzig added a pace merchant into their squad by signing Bruma from Galatasaray, who I personally never really rated. But apparently he's added some end product to his game as well, as he scored 11 goals and got 8 assists last season. That ain't bad, and I'm also interested to see if RB Leipzig can keep that level of play up that they did last season when they got second in the Bundesliga. Speaking of pace and the aforementioned Juventus, Douglas Costa has apparently agreed to personal terms to move to Juventus. And now it's just down to the two teams to sort out a price that they are both happy with. And apparently Bayern wants around 50 million euros for him. If I was Juventus, I would go for this one, as Mario Mandzukic, as good as he has been for them, he's still pretty much a striker playing on the wing. So to get someone like Douglas Costa, who is an out-and-out winger, bombing down that wing with Higuain and Dybala in the attack, ooh, man, that's danger. Alright, let's talk some of the usual suspects like Andrea Bellotti. Now, some United fans thought that they'd get both Murata and Andrea Bellotti, but at the moment it looks like they might not get either of them. Of course, the transfer window hasn't even opened yet, which is insane. It opens in July. But after Torino's asking price for Bellotti, it seems like United stepped down a little bit, and AC Milan stepped up, submitting an 80 million euro bid for the striker, which is a lot closer to that 100 million valuation that the Torino president set for him, which I think was him just throwing a huge number out there and hoping that he would get more for Bellotti than he would have if he hadn't thrown that huge number out there. You know, in this market, you can really juice people for all they're worth. And speaking of ridiculous numbers, Real Madrid have apparently told Manchester United that if they want Alvaro Murata, they have to pay 78 million pounds. Not euros, 78 million pounds. Now this is definitely Real Madrid just playing some hardball with Man United, and it's a big fuck you to them, considering they wouldn't send David De Gea the other direction. Don't get me wrong, Alvaro Murata is a great player, and I think that he will succeed in the future if he can get off that damn Real Madrid bench. But 78 million pounds for him, that's crazy. And while we're on the topic of Manchester United, Victor Lindelof was confirmed as a signing on Tuesday afternoon. I think this is a pretty decent move by United, considering Lindelof is only 22, so he's very young and moldable still. He's a Champions League experienced player. He got a lot of games with Benfica, and he's consistently in Sweden's starting 11. So he's got that international experience as well. I personally rate him. I know that a lot of United fans are up in arms about this signing for some reason, but I mean, come on. There was a lot of United fans that were not happy about the Vidic or Evra signings back in the day. But let me say this, if Mourinho knows anything, it's how to defend. And almost every single one, well, I can't say almost every single one because I don't have an official stat on this, but most of his signings in the center back position have turned out to be incredible players. Look at Bailly, another center back dude that no one really knew, but turned out to be probably United's best defender this season. Now the links between Barcelona and Marco Verratti are getting stronger and stronger, with Paolo Maldini, for some reason, offering his insights on it. saying that Verratti is perfect for Barcelona and Barcelona is perfect for Verratti. I personally love Verratti. The one thing that I don't really love about him is he is injured a lot. Like last season, he only managed to play in 28 league games, which isn't bad, but the season before that, only 18 league games. You know, you don't want to have another Bale situation. And you know what? Let's talk about Bale, actually. Apparently, Bale has made his intentions clear in that he wants to stay at Real Madrid, but there are some rumblings around the Bernabeu that Zidane wants to offload Bale so that he can fund moves for Eden Hazard and Kylian Mbappé. Now, I think that the Eden Hazard move is off the table, but the Kylian Mbappé one could still happen. But I think the only way that it could happen is if they were to buy him and then loan him back to Monaco right away, which people have said is a possibility. But just going back to Bale, I can't see him leaving, James leaving, Hazard not coming, Mbappé not being there next season, Murata not being there next season. They've got to hold on to some players because they're not going to get every player on their wish list, right? And Bale, when he's in form, is incredible for Real Madrid. So I think that Bale is going to be staying. And speaking of Mbappé, Arsenal are looking to offload Olivier Giroud to either Lyon or Monaco, depending if they can get Mbappé or Lacazette. This is interesting because Giroud is probably the most confusing player I've ever come across. At times, he looks silky smooth, a big man with a great touch, and a lethal shot at times. Just look at the goal he scored this last week. He scores worldies once in a while, but then at other times he looks completely incompetent and lost when he's on the pitch. And unfortunately, he looks more incompetent and lost than he does like a world beater. However, you get that feeling that if he was to return home to the Ligue, he would be the top scorer in that league. With the right players around him, at the right team, I think that he, maybe at Monaco, although a partnership with Radamel Falcao doesn't really work out. But anyways, I think that if he returned to the Liga, he could become the top scorer in that league. And I think that he should because he's 30 years old now, and if he wants to win some silverware, you know, go out on a high, then he should go back home. Let alone, it would be a great way for him to solidify his spot in the French squad for the World Cup next year. Now, an update on Diego Costa. Apparently, he is willing to sit out for 6 months to get that move to Atletico Madrid. He spoke to the media once again and said, quote, "The fight for a place has to be fair. When there is a fair fight, you stay and fight, but if there isn't, you go." Fair enough. Atletico are willing to throw together a special training regimen for Diego to stay match fit, and of course, he can still be selected for the Spanish national team, which the manager, Julen Lopetegui, I always say that wrong, it's the strangest name, said that his place is not in jeopardy at all, even if he is sitting out for 6 months. And finally, Everton are taking the transfer window by storm all of a sudden. First, they signed Jordan Pickford from Sunderland for £30 million. Now, some weirdos on the internet are saying, why are you paying $30 million for a keeper whose team got relegated? But come on. There's only so much a guy can do when the people in front of him are one of the worst squads that the Premier League has seen grace the pitches in the last few years. So I think it's a pretty good signing. Pretty high price tag, but I mean, that's just the market right now, especially for goalkeepers. That seems to be the average for like a decent goalkeeper right now. Everton also brought in Davy Klaassen from Ajax, who is basically Robin Mach 2, not at all in playing style or position, but just looking way older than you actually are. The kid's only 24. And apparently they've agreed a transfer fee for Mbappé Niang from AC Milan, which will cost them about 18 million euros. So Everton are going hard right now, man. They want those reinforcements for their Europa League campaign and to maybe push into that top 6 next season if they can. And I think that's it for me, guys. What transfers have you heard that are probably going to happen, or what transfer rumors would you like to see become transfer truths? Appreciate you guys watching as always, and also make sure you head over to Jimmy's channel for a Confederations Cup preview that maybe I showed up in. Who knows? That should be out tonight. I'm going to be doing a Team of the Year for you guys this weekend. And other than that, have a sick weekend. Peace!